Hello everyone, this is Andrew from Crown Academy of English. Today we're doing a lesson about expect and wait. So, students are often confused with expect and wait because the meaning is similar. Expect is a verb, and here is the pronunciation. Expect. Wait is also a verb. Wait, wait. And in this lesson you will learn the meaning and uses of these two words. And don't forget, there is an exercise at the end of the lesson to test your knowledge. So make sure you watch the whole video, okay? And then do the exercise at the end. So let's start. Expect. The first meaning is to think or believe that somebody will arrive. The form is expect plus the person. So here is an example. The shop manager says, "We're expecting a lot of customers today." So this means that we believe or we think that a lot of customers will arrive today, will come today. The doctor says, "I'm expecting a patient at 10 o'clock. I'm expecting a patient at 10 o'clock. A very common example is in James Bond films. You often hear this. The villain says, "I was expecting you, Mr. Bond." And the second meaning is to think or believe that something will happen. And for this meaning, there are four common forms. Expect, then a noun phrase. Expect, then an infinitive. So an infinitive is to plus the verb. Expect, then a that clause. And then expect plus an object plus an infinitive. So let's look at each form in detail. We'll start here. So expect plus a noun phrase. The police are expecting protests across the country. So the police think that there will be lots of protests across the country. I'm taking an umbrella. They're expecting rain today. So they're expecting. They is referring to the weather forecasters. Okay, so they think that there will be rain today. Expect followed by to followed by the verb. So this is an infinitive. We expect to move to London next year. And here is somebody filling in an application form. I expect to find a job soon. I expect to find a job soon. So I think that I will find a job soon. Expect followed by the infinitive, to find. Expect followed by a that clause. Mark says, "The neighbour is so noisy today." Jane says, "Don't worry, I expect that he will soon go to bed." So I expect, and this is the that clause. So I think or I believe that he will soon go to bed. So I think that the noise will soon be finished. Claire asks, "Do you have any news from John?" And Sarah replies, "No, not yet. I expect that he'll contact me tonight." Okay, so I think that he will contact me tonight. Expect followed by a that clause. And finally, for the form, expect followed by an object followed by an infinitive. My teacher expects me to pass the exam. So my teacher thinks or believes that I will pass the exam. So the object is me. So this is the object personal pronoun. Okay? And to pass, this is the infinitive. Now, let's look at a third meaning of expect. This is kind of like an expression. We have to be expecting, and this means to be pregnant. So Sarah is expecting. So when someone says that she is expecting, and then there is no object, there's no direct object after the verb, then it means that it usually means that it's this expression, and it means that the person is pregnant. We can also give a little bit more information. So for example, Jane says, I'm expecting twins. I'm expecting twins. So this means twins means two babies. And Claire is expecting her third child. So she is pregnant with her third child. So she already has 2 children, and this will be her third. Now let's look at wait, and then we will compare them both. So wait, the important concept is that we are allowing time to pass until someone or something arrives. Or we are allowing time to pass until something happens. Okay, so the important concept is that it's the concept of time passing. Okay, and usually if we're talking about waiting, when we use the word wait, usually we are not doing much while this is happening, while allowing the time to pass. So we're perhaps a little bit bored. We're looking at our watch maybe. So that's the concept of waiting for something or waiting for someone. You know, we're a little bit bored, we're not doing much. That's why we are waiting, we are allowing the time to pass. So the form is usually wait for someone or something. So she's waiting for the mechanic. She's waiting for the mechanic. Now, let's compare expect and wait in one example. Okay, so we're going to create a little story, and we're going to use both of these words. So this is a doctor's diary. Okay, this is a doctor's schedule. So a patient called Mr. Smith has an appointment with a doctor at 8 o'clock. So this is the doctor writing the appointment in her book, in her diary. 8 o'clock, I have an appointment with Mr. Smith. We can say the doctor is expecting a patient at 8 o'clock. Okay, we have already seen this. The doctor is expecting a patient at 8 o'clock. Believes that someone will arrive at 8 o'clock. Now, the time is now 7:55 a.m. So shortly before the appointment time. The doctor is free. This means she has no other patients. So therefore, we can say the doctor is waiting for the patient. Okay, so the doctor is maybe looking at a watch, looking at the time, is a bit bored, has nothing to do. So we say that she is waiting for the patient. Okay. And of course, we can also say the doctor is expecting the patient in 5 minutes. I'm expecting the patient in 5 minutes. I'm waiting for him. Okay, both of those are okay, but just realize and understand the meaning is slightly different. Here we are concentrating on the fact of time passing, okay, and expecting is more that something is scheduled or planned. Okay, let's look at some more examples of wait. So the boy is waiting for the bus. She's waiting for the train. And the dog is waiting for its owner, looking out of the window and waiting for its owner. And we can also have this form as well for wait. Wait for, then the object, and then an infinitive. They are waiting for the match to start. They means the supporters, so the supporters are waiting for the match to start. Okay, again we have the concept of time passing. They have nothing else to do. They are there only for the match, so they are waiting for the match to start. They're looking at their watches. Okay, and we have another meaning of wait, another use really. If we say that something will have to wait, something will have to wait. Okay, normally when we use wait, we're saying a person waits. You know, John is waiting, I am waiting, you are waiting. But in this example, it's a thing. Something will have to wait. And this means something has to be done at a later time. We're going to postpone something. We're going to do it later. So the manager says, I'm busy now. The meeting will have to wait until tomorrow. Okay, so this means we'll do the meeting at a later time. We're not going to do it now. We'll do it tomorrow. And the opposite, if something is urgent, very important, we say that it cannot wait. It can't wait. So an example at work. Your manager says to you, that report cannot wait until tomorrow. Or that report can't wait until tomorrow. So if your manager says this to you, what do you think he wants you to do? What do you think the message really is? Well, this is a polite way of saying your manager is telling you to do that report today. So if you ever hear this, if you're at work in England or in America and your manager says that report cannot wait until tomorrow, then he or she is telling you to do that report today before you leave the office. Okay, so it's a very useful expression. If something cannot wait until tomorrow, it means you must do it now. Okay, so now let's look at an exercise, and I want you to write your answers. There are three questions, and I want you to write your answers in the comments below this video. Okay, so don't look at anyone else's answers, don't cheat, don't look at other people's answers. Write your answers in the comments. So it's a little story. Your electricity is not working. An electrician says he'll be there at 3 p.m. So question 1, write a sentence using expect to describe this situation. Okay, to describe this, use the word expect. Okay, now it's the same story. It's 3:10 p.m. The electrician has not arrived yet, and your friend calls you. So your friend calls you and your friend asks, what are you doing? And you reply, I am something, something, the electrician. So question 2, what are these two words? What is the best answer here? So I want you to either use expect, or I want you to either use wait. So I want you to use the correct word here. So there's two words here. Then the same story, at last the electrician arrives. But when he gets there, he says that he will come back tomorrow to fix it. Okay, he'll come back tomorrow to fix it. Now, question 3, I want you to use wait in an expression to tell him that you want it fixed today because it's urgent. Okay, so I want you to use one of the expressions that you have learned in today's lesson to tell the electrician that it is urgent and that you want it fixed today, not tomorrow. Okay, so write your 3 answers in the comments below the video, and over the next few days I will look at everyone's answers and I will give you some corrections and some advice. Okay, so that's the end of the lesson. If you're preparing for the IELTS exam, then click here for information about our IELTS online course. And here are some other videos that I recommend you watch.